Hello and welcome to Onside Productions. We are here on this beautiful flag weekend. I'm Sean Endicott alongside Alan Young. How you doing, Alan?
Yeah, good. Another good day of football.
Got a great matchup here?
Yep, should be. Good matchup. The Reading Knights were the plate champions last year, so really to make sure that they've not regressed anywhere, they need to win this one. And the Chichester Sharks last year were relegated from the Prem Division, so this would be a nice win for them, heading back up in that direction.
Now, we have already seen today, let's go through all the games. We had the relegation versus promotion game.
Yep.
And that was a great outing.
It was good, yeah, good tight first half, and then the Midlothian Sabres really pulled away at the first 5 minutes of the second half. And having spoken to them since, they are absolutely delighted to be going to the Prem Division.
And I'm sure you would, as you've said on previous broadcasts, the Premiership is definitely separating itself.
It does seem to, like, the top tier of the Prem is definitely becoming stronger and stronger from playing better and better teams. It's starting to kind of move to a point where we might eventually, if we can grow the team numbers a bit more, need a kind of middle tier between the Prem and maybe like a League One and a League Two. So to get to go and play teams of a higher calibre, and obviously in the Prem you get to play a wider variety of teams because you do cross-conference games. It's a great opportunity. But this is the Midlothian Sabres' first time at any kind of post-season event, and they've just enjoyed the playing English teams for a change. It's been a great experience for them, so they seem to be at high spirits.
Great to see. Well, let's move on to this game here. We have the Chichester Sharks versus the
Reading
Knights here. As a bit of a heads up, I do not have a roster from the Reading Knights as of yet. It has just been handed to me. If I can read this handwriting, there we go. Great. Let's talk about these teams.
Yeah, Reading Knights, good team. They've got some talented players. Dre, and I've forgotten his surname, but Dre, I'm just going to call him Dre. It's Andre. He doesn't seem to be on the team list though, so potentially not playing today for the Reading Knights. No.
Bit of a loss there.
Yeah. He's going to be a big loss. I can't say his surname, so from a commentary point of view, it's going to be easier. But they're a talented team. They're very competent. They're capable. They compete in a very competitive division in the league. And again, they've made the plate day. And again, they're in the final. So 2 years in a row they've been here.
Giving us a wave for the camera, trying to say hello there. Moving on to the Chichester Sharks. They have a relatively large roster, quite a few substitutes on both sides of the ball here today.
Yeah, they're good, well-stocked teams that will help them. Chichester are very experienced. They were in the Prem Division last season, which was clearly a level above where they possibly should have been. They had a tough year. This year they've been back to winning ways. Not possibly as high up as they would have liked to have been, but a team that's kind of rebuilding and adding players to it. They've got Neil Henderson, former GB national player, as their quarterback. He's a savvy flag football brain. He's one of the flag football committee. He knows what he's doing. They've also got three very talented players in Alex Brown, who's known as Shorty, and Corey Bedford, they're both GB Silverline development players just now, and they have Kate Bruinvos, who is a women's Silverline.
So a very star-studded roster there from the Sharks. And we are seeing now the coin toss at the beginning of the game here to see who gets the ball first. For those new to the flag game, it's 5-a-side. You have 4 downs to get to the midway point, starting from your own 5-yard line, and then 4 downs to score. Following any scores, you have the chance to convert for 1 point or 2. 1 point is from the 5-yard line, and you are not allowed to run. 2 points is from the 10-yard line, and you can run or pass.
Correct.
So we'll jump in here. See if we can get who the ball's first, and it looks like
Reading.
It looks
Green
like it's going to be
have
Reading.
won the toss and elected to start on defence. It's first down, Red.
There we go. So, guys, clear call from the mic here. The Reading Knights in red. See how they start out here. The flag game, quite a bit of passing, if anyone's new to it. And I expect a very open game today, usually high-scoring affairs with some high-flying plays.
I'm expecting this to be a high-scoring affair. Both have talented offenses, but not potentially the strongest defenses.
So you got 2 receivers out to the left, 1 out to the right. Quarterback looks to his left and gets a quick completion for about 10 yards and a tackle there. So that's Jay Bellamy back for Reading, and then that is a completion to Vin Berry on the left side for about 10 yards.
Yep, nice safe start there. Good quick hitch route completion. Nothing fancy, gets the job done. Little collision at the end, but both players appear to have come out okay.
I doubt there. Yeah, not too much contact on purpose there. So again, same formation, 2 receivers out to the right. Quarterback drops back to pass, gets a completion on shallow route, and goes out of bounds is number 83. That's Ryan McKeveny getting the completion there on that nice little crossing route across the middle of the field. Good ball placement again by Bellamy there.
Yep, nice ball placement by Bellamy and a good position here. It's about 3rd and 5 to halfway. So again, opens the playbook up for potentially a shot deep. Interested to see what they'll do.
Bellamy drops back, looks out over the middle of the field, scans to his right, gets a quick completion, and the receiver gets his foot down and then tackled just beyond.
It would appear.
I would say just beyond the midfield line. Yes, they have now signaled that he's just over.
I thought we had a terrible spot for a moment there.
He was definitely over the line.
Yeah. First down. Tough place to be, though. 4 downs to score from here. Longest possible distance, really, without a penalty.
Because that second half of the field is an additional 5 yards.
Yeah, it's an additional 5 yards longer, and you're right on halfway pretty much there. So it's the worst possible situation. Nice.
Misses one tackle, spins his way, tries to get out of another, but cannot get down the field any further.
Very nice juke through between 2 defenders there.
That's number 84, who I do not have a name for, so I apologize if you're the star player of the team.
Yeah, your team. No, number 84.
Oh, I just can't read this handwriting. James.
Let's just call him James.
I'm going to call him James. I'm sorry. I'm going to say Tharl. James Tharl. I apologize. Anyway, James there. Here he is again on a nice little comeback route. Just runs a little hitch. Great.
Yeah. Nice simple play, and you know what, those have a cumulative effect as the game goes on. The more little hitches, the more frustrated a defense gets, and eventually they'll jump something, and if you just time your hitch and go route at the right time, big plays can come.
Exactly right, particularly if you have some sort of option route where the DB wouldn't even know in advance. You just read that play, and you and the quarterback are on the same page. Now you have one receiver, James, set out just like a running back to the right of the quarterback, fakes a handoff there, rolls out to his right, and knifes through a completion there, just beyond one defender, and sandwiches it in before another. Great play.
Wow, that's a nice throw and catch. It wouldn't have been the read I would have liked to have made initially, but he's got more faith in his arm than I have. Nice slotting that between 2 defenders there.
If you're the first defender there and you have a second defender to behind you, particularly if you knew that from a scheme, you got to go for that ball.
Yeah, I think you've really got to make a play for it. Just punch it out the sideline.
I understand going safe if you're on your own, but if you have safety coverage, you need to be more aggressive on that. Quarterback rolls out to his right, throws it across his body for a touchdown over the middle. Number 88, Vin Berry. Really great drive there by Jay.
Yeah, really nice, simple completions, taking everything the defense was giving him without any real cause for concern, just rolled up the field, and this is a lovely crossing route here.
And you can see here in flag football, you get a little bit of unorthodox form. Not only is he throwing quite literally off his back foot, but he's throwing it all the way across his body.
Yep.
But with these closed quarters and open field, you can get away with that and get some really nice scores.
Absolutely. Nice play design there. He was rolling, hoping to hit one receiver, but that opened up for someone else.
There he is rolling out to his right again. A very similar play in terms of ball placement, but that time it hits the dirt.
Yeah.
Or the nice 3G.
It's a very nice facility here in Manchester.
Yeah, big fans of this stadium. I've coached here as a juniors coach, and I've been here now for this entire weekend of flag. It's been an absolutely great venue to be at.
Yeah, it's a great venue, and it's one of the few venues that can hold the tournament the size that we try to run with having the second field up there. So I think we'll have more events here in the future. So
now we get to see the first possession by the Sharks. A receiver just behind the center and the quarterback going deep on his first play, and he gets a wide open receiver down the field. He gets tackled just at the 1 yard line. That's number 9, Luke Nash, gashing his way down the field.
Yeah, huge completion to Nash down the field there. It's not often that Neil would crank out a deep throw like that straight away, and possibly he's used that to his advantage, and Reading have been a little bit too aggressive in the middle of the field. Nice route, nice catch. Knocking on the door already.
Way to sniff that out, and as you've said, very comfortable here. In flag football, most teams are pretty confident to gain a yard.
Yeah, you would hope so.
Looks out to his right, scans out, cannot find a player, rolls out, scooting around to his left, finds a receiver in the back corner of the end zone, but it is dropped.
Yep, little drop by Kate Brownfuls. Not the most comfortable pass, and she saw it late, but I would expect a player of Kate's caliber to pull that in.
we've seen this before. Some of these plays seem clearly designed to be kind of one-read plays. You're looking for a rub at the beginning or a cross. You want to throw it to your center peeling out, or you want to get a receiver who's run across where the center was or something like that.
Yeah.
And you could tell that the quarterback there looked, didn't
Definitely.
find it, and then Kate did her best to get into a position
He
after a
committed,
scramble.
definitely committed 2 players to getting one open, and it didn't quite pan out.
See, there you go. There's another similar play there, clearly designed. You only have to gain a yard, so you have to throw it forward, which they did.
And he got the touchdown.
Got the score there. That's a great, nice play design. Like we said, most of these teams probably have quite a few plays
Yeah.
specifically designed for either second or third and short near the midpoint line,
Yeah.
just to get the first down, or right on the goal line.
Yeah, you've got a handful of plays that are for extra points. 5 yards and shorter, definitely the situation.
And here we go with 2 receivers set out to the right, scanning the field to his right. Makes a nice spin move, but is now on the ground. Remember,
Yeah.
in flag, you are down whether one of your body parts, like a knee or an elbow, hits the ground, or your flag's pulled, obviously. In that case, it was both.
Yeah.
Very much so down.
Yeah, he tried to do a little bit too much there, try to buy some time. Maybe should have got the ball out a little bit earlier, but I don't think there was anything safe on.
The in vogue movement because you can't guard your flags with your hands.
No.
The in vogue movement seems to be the dip, or the gyrate, where you just kind of move your hips forward away, like we're seeing in the other field across the way. Someone's literally doing it as I'm saying it. So here's a little quick out route to the center, who gets a completion there. But yeah, the spinning. It comes. It's not like it's ineffective, but there are other moves coming into play.
Yeah, the spin needs to be just at the right time. You need to be kind of on the outside of a defender, and you're really just trying to rip one hip away from them so you can keep your momentum. But if you stop and spin in the spot, you're really just going to move the other flag into the tackler's hands. So the juke, the kind of hip thrust forward are definitely good, and the dip is becoming more and more prevalent. But there are a lot of teams who do the dip that need to learn how to do it safely.
Well, that's a good point here, but as we see that, there is another completion to James. He's the key of their offense so far, and gets just past the first down there.
Oh, I thought they'd ended up in a nice situation there, but no, they're just on the first down marker. First and goal.
It's funny, the ref's actually standing behind the midway point, but he signaled the ball in front of the midway point. It's right on the line.
Yeah, it definitely is a first down.
2 receivers out to the left, 1 out to the right. Quarterback about 7 yards deep. Gets a quick little hitch route. And James is there with another 10 to 15 yards, really the linchpin of their offense right now.
Everything seems to drive through James, so if I was Chichester, I would be starting to make some adjustments now, but this is just a nice, simple, it's like a 2 and hitch, catch, go, and you know what, he's not far away from breaking a tackle.
Yeah, well, it's not, like you said, you keep doing these underneath routes, all of a sudden a defender commits a little too much. Then all of a sudden you can take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Same formation now, 7 yards deep, scanning the field to the right, looking to the left, gets a completion on another shallow route there. And falling out of bounds is number 88, Vin Berry.
Yeah, it looks like Vin's toes just caught the line as he was trying to reach forward. Stopped about the 3, but still a good situation to be here. 3rd and 3.
3rd and 3, so now they get 2 different chances here. They are in what's called the no-run zone. If you're new to flag football, you cannot run the ball inside of 5 yards, and that includes like a screen pass or any other shovel pass that's still behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
So you have to pass the ball over the line of scrimmage. As we see here, throwing into the back of the end zone, looking for James, could not get that completion there, just behind him. Oh, I'm sorry, that was not James.
No, they have thrown it to someone else. It was
Number
9.
Number
so that's
9?
Isaac.
Isaac Harding, there we go.
So yeah, Isaac really put in a bad spot by his QB there. One of the first few errant throws by Jay. He just seemed to throw it a little bit late because Isaac was open for a long way across.
Wide
the
open.
field.
He didn't have a defender within 5 yards of him.
Yeah.
So here we go. Two receivers out to the right. Quarterback scanning from left to right. Waiting. One receiver has his hand up. Doesn't go that way. Decides instead to go to, is that number 9 again?
I think that might be Isaac again. Yeah, number 9, touchdown.
There we go. That's a nice touchdown there. I'm having a little bit of trouble with that if it's a 9 or a 1. I'm going to say it's a 9.
That was good work by Isaac there because he got to the end of his route and everything was covered up. The drag route pattern underneath it was clearly looking ahead, never came open, but he kept working, kept moving. The quarterback found him in space.
Now 2 receivers out to the left, 1 settle on to the right. Jay rolls out to his left, gets a completion just before the end zone. I think they're going to call him short. Oh, no.
No.
They've said he managed to reach the ball in. Great ball placement there by Jay.
Yeah, nice throw there. Very similar to the play that the Smoke ran a lot in the final yesterday.
Well, what an offense to emulate, though. It's not a bad. It's not a bad shot. I know they came up a bit short, but they did have quite a few points.
They were an effective offense yesterday, but yeah, just the way that he rolled out and the way he fired it in close to that pylon. Good good job, though, by the ref to spot that he must have had his feet down in control.
Really good placement. I wasn't surprised it was a catch, but I was impressed that the ball got over the line. Here we go with a little pitch out to the right, and tries to juke his way into the middle of the field. Just gets about 2 yards. That is number 26, Alex Shorty Brown.
Yeah, Shorty nearly. He's so elusive with the ball in his hands. If he can get past one, you just don't want to find yourself trying to tackle him in open space.
Shorty's having a bit of trouble with his flags, though, right now at the moment. Seems to have those back in, and he is set just outside the center. Drop back here, quarterback scanning down the middle of the field, looks for the completion. Too far over the middle. The receiver was on a cross, or on a more of a post route. I guess you call it a post, but it's going towards the corner.
Yeah.
Started from the left, diagonally across to the right.
It looked like a backside post. He was heading that way, but the other receiver's route was quite close to him, which meant that he'd drawn quite a lot of coverage into one space.
Also, the quarterback threw it straight down the line over the middle, so maybe the quarterback was expecting more of a skinny post on that one.
Possibly. Number 1, James Hegarty from Reading there had nice coverage, and he gave him a little bump at the end of the route just to remind him he was there.
Ball was over his head, so maybe the ref decided that wasn't too much contact.
Oh yeah, definitely. No
fake handoff there, throws it to the running back on that fake handoff. Gets the wheel route, escapes one tackler, cannot escape the second, but gets inside the 10-yard line. Great play there. You get a player in motion.
Another big play for Luke Nash there. That's a huge gain on such a lovely, simple concept.
Let's take a look at this. Almost looks like a desperation play, but actually, that's a very good design because it really clears out one side of the field there.
Nicely designed. And this is we talk about the quarterback technique. That quarterback is throwing that jumping backwards, falling all the way.
Like Doug Flutie.
Yeah, with a little bit more success.
Oh, that's mean. He was on the Patriots. Quarterback scrambling around trying to avoid it, but gets sacked. And the defender spikes the flag into the ground with a little bit of authority.
He quickly realised that was not a sporting thing to do and corrected himself.
Well, him picking up that flag so quickly may have saved another flag from hitting the ground.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen players given unsportsmanlike for that a few times, but it's just the testosterone. Oh, and then there's a player trying to listen into the huddle. You're going to be that guy, number 11.
Yeah, we're calling you out now.
Yeah. It's fine.
Can't do that. Maybe in practice. Anyway, 2 receivers each side of the center. They're all scanning down the middle of the field. Now they turn to break, and there's a corner route to number 9. Slides on his knees, but cannot haul that pass in. Isaac Harding not able to bring it in.
Good effort there from Luke Nash.
I'm sorry. No, that's number 9. Luke Nash. Sorry for the Sharks.
That's all right. He made a good effort to get under it there, but it could just have done with a couple of yards more from the quarterback. Got
a little bit of a Mighty Ducks vibe from that play. You had 3 players running down almost in a wedge.
And then separating just as they
all
had the
separated. It's very clever. Let's see if they do a similar concept. No, this time they go for a quick pass out to the left and just gained about 2 yards. They're about back to where they started before the sack.
Yeah.
Taking a lot of plays to get back there.
Listen, it's not an easy position to score from this. It's
not enough room to work with on the deep throws, but not quite close enough for the short stuff.
Yeah, you're kind of looking for middle range play here, and no doubt Neil will have a few in his tricks, but it's still, you never love to be in this situation.
Trips formation with Nash out to the right, and you get that little pretty out route. What a beautiful play, and a completion to number 16, Corey Bedford.
Yeah, Corey Bedford. He's actually just back off of an injury, Corey. He's been struggling with an injury since Big Bowl earlier in the season, and that was a nice route and a nice catch.
Let's check this out here. If you watch on the inside here, they really, what a clean cut.
Yeah, lovely cut. He just left his defenders for dead there. Nice job.
I think there might be some boots left in the ground where that person tried to turn on defense. Here we are scanning from right to left, scrambling to his right, and gets one on a crossing route. But it is batted out the hands. Quite a bit of contact there, but they're not going to call anything. A bit surprised.
I'm surprised because I felt he did get some of the ball, but he also got a lot of Corey's arm in the way through there.
Both of which are flags in flag football.
It's if he hits the ball as it's hitting the hands, he'll get away with it. But when it was clearly looked like it would be possessed for a split second, it's interesting. But you know what, refs are,
and they're closer to the field than we are, so I can't always tell when the ball hits someone's hands from this far. We're about 100 plus yards away from the field, and here we are scanning from left to right, and just a little quick pass over the middle. That's again to the star receiver so far from the day, James Thorall.
Nice tackle by Shorty there. Now on defense, normally more of an offensive player, but he is possibly one of their best all-round players, so they've got him on the defense again in a big game.
Now, managing a game like this, you have so many substitutes. Do you think we'll see a lot of rotation, or do they have that top 4 or 5 players that are going to be in there the whole time?
I think generally you'll see Corey and Shorty stay on the field most of the time. but the other 3 will be game to change.
And there we see James there with another completion. I'm not surprised if we see him on the field pretty much the whole game.
Yeah,
at least on offense.
He definitely, either he's just very talented or the playbook is designed to run through him.
Or the defender can't cover him.
Yeah, well, there's always potential to that. But you know what? It seems like the Sharks are running like a 2-2 system here. They're pretending that 2 people are blitzing, only 1 is. And the quarterback just...
Oh, there's an interception, and it's going to be a pick 6, unless he can get around. No!
Yeah.
There's no tackle there, and that's an excellent play by number 26 from the Sharks. That's your buddy Shorty.
Yeah, Shorty, you know, if it's one of those things. He doesn't necessarily play D often, but if you're going to give him a chance to catch a ball, he's going to catch it. And in the open field, he is a nightmare to tackle.
Well, that really came back to bite him there, trying that underneath route again. Totally sniffed out.
Yep, it's one of those we mentioned earlier. The short routes pull the defence forward, and they read it and jumped on it. There was no real deep option there. Allowed the defence to sit and drive forward. Great play by Shorty, and that could be a game changer.
I have to say this from an offensive line's perspective. Number 99 has to do a better job of driving back towards the ball there as well.
Absolutely.
Quarterback about 8 yards back, throws on a quick crossing route, tries to get Shorty, cannot find him.
Yeah, and that's not a bad route by Shorty there. I think Neil just needs to put the ball on him a little bit better. But still, they take the lead, the Sharks, for the first time. A little bonus possession there.
You get that free pick 6. It's a quick way to get on the board.
Yeah, and that's just funny. That was the first drive that Shorty had noticed had been on defence, and he's already had an impact. And of course, he probably won't be coming off defence now after that play.
Yeah, I'd imagine not. Now 2 receivers out to the left, 1 setback. That's Jay Bellamy. Goes for the quick route, pump fake to his right, and then gets a completion to the left to number 9, who's still running, but I think has only 1 flag on him.
Yeah, the flag defenders are sneaky that way. If there's no pop, they just stand pretending that they've not tackled you, let you waste some energy.
Try to tie you out a bit.
Yeah, it's interesting in that play. Our man James from Reading just ran one of the laziest looking fly routes I've ever seen in my life. He never looked at any point like he was going to burst open or look for the ball. He was clearly just a decoy route, but to be a decoy route, you've really actually got to pretend you might get it.
And there is a deep post and then a crossing route over the middle, but instead goes out to the right to number 88, Vin Berry, for another completion there, pretty close to the midway point. So you had 1 deep route there developing, started out as if it was a post, went to a straight cross over the middle. That kind of took a safety with him and left a little bit of room.
Yeah, it looked like Isaac came across a nice dig route there. It occupied both safeties and left some nice space for Vin Berry out in the side.
2 receivers out to the left, receiver to the right, very close to the line of scrimmage. Managed to do a little bit of a whip, but instead they go to the out route on number 84, James, yet again.
Yep, nice catch by James there again, bringing up the first down. Interesting to see that the Sharks, one of their better athletes, seems to be attempting to track him now a little bit. I wonder if that's a tactical choice or if it was just schematically the way that it panned out there.
Well, and you saw there that James has been running hitches all day, and that time turned that hitch into a whip.
Yeah.
Didn't quite get the full hitch, but did get a little, bring it back towards the quarterback and then turn it to the outside. And that is a drop over the middle.
That was an interesting play design. So this is maybe where we're seeing 84 James being used as the linchpin of their offense, because he was there in a kind of option pitch back position and it drew 2 defenders forward.
We seem to be approaching the 2-minute warning.
This is the 2-minute warning. There are 1:55 remaining, and both teams have both timeouts.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. Didn't want to talk over the ref.
No, quite all right. I hadn't even noticed that we were past 2 minutes there. So 2-minute warning, 2 timeouts each side.
Here we go. 2 receivers out to the left. Scans to his right. Pump fakes, but gets a completion over there past the midfield line. Yet again to number 9, Isaac Harding. So let's explain under 2 minutes here. You switch to what's called a pro-style clock. With that 2 minutes going, that means that the clock stops now as opposed to running at times that you'd expect. First downs, out of bounds, incompletions.
Yeah, you're expecting it to roll a bit more and just realising that our clock has stopped. Oh, there we go.
So now quarterback scans from right to left, looks for that deep route in the middle, and it's a wide open receiver. Gets a little bit of a separation there against their defender, about 3 yards away. Yep. Gets a nice completion on that little post route. Nice
completion, nice touchdown, simple, slightly backside post route there. Puts them a point ahead.
It's interesting in flag, you see these routes that you're used to developing over one part of the field, like a post route. Yeah. But it actually starts on your right and ends up to the left, as opposed to most, generally, unless you're running out the slot, a post is going to stay on one side of the field until very late in the play.
Obviously, the pitch is slightly less than half the width of a normal American football field, so some of the route concepts are going to end up leaking over at the other side of the field, and that's a nice grab.
That was a nice grab, and I'm pretty sure he stole the conversion from his teammate.
Yeah.
We watched this on the play. That was clearly going to one guy who almost looks disappointed now. If we check this out here.
1 minute and 17 remaining in the half.
If you see there, number 84, James, is like heartbroken. He said it was coming right to me. I couldn't get that. But I guess he's probably not going to be too heartbroken with that.
No.
His team getting another point there.
We're not going to take that away from Vin. A lovely one-handed grab there.
Well, now they're up by 2 points. That's Reading over the Sharks.
Minute 17 to go.
Closing into halftime. Very close game so far. About 7 yards back. Free rusher comes in, looks for the completion over the middle, and gets it. And he got away from one tackle, and he's streaking down the sideline. That is a touchdown, reaching the ball out ahead of him. That's Corey Bedford. Talk about some afterburners.
Corey's got speed to burn. He's a fantastic player. And a shoulder bump from two people who are quite short.
A shorty bump.
A shorty bump.
Oh, wow, what a play. I mean, you see this right here. You can see just a nice completion over the middle.
Yeah, a nice route, nice grab, nice awareness, straight up the sideline, and he's got the speed, intelligently reaching out as well there.
I love that, because you never know. That guy was on his tail. Could have got the flag out, but you managed to get the ball just across the line. Now they're going to go for one to try to make this a 5-point game. Two receivers set out to the left.
Not a coaching decision. I'd be going for two here.
Oh, I would agree with that. Grows out for a little bit of an out route to number 9 there. And you know what? That route was so open, that probably would have worked if they were 5 yards further back. They could have called the same play and got 5 yards back, still got 2.
Wide open. But you know what? Well, maybe in the long game that 1 point might come valuable, but I would have preferred to have seen them go for 2 there and make that a full touchdown lead. But
well, one's certainly better than none.
Yeah, and we're still in the first half, so potentially the conservative way to go is the right way to go here.
2 receivers set out to the left, 1 out to the right on his own. Quarterback about 6-7 yards behind the center. There's the snap, scans to his right, quick pass out there, and quickly getting out of bounds is number 9, Isaac Harding. That's the same route they've been running all day. Yeah, they must run a lot of hitches in practice.
Nice simple hitch, nicely timed. Defenders sitting off, but again, I'm waiting forward to see another opportunity where they try and drive forward and take one of those away.
The hard part about defending that hitch is with right anticipation. They're throwing it before the receivers turned. And here is pump fake to the left, throws it deep over the middle, and that was double covered as well. That's probably not the wisest throw.
Yeah, so this is maybe what we're talking about, where they're trying to draw them into the hitches and they've decided to go for the hitch.
56 seconds left in that half.
I'm clearly a little slow in this clock. But yeah, maybe doing the hitch and go there, but not really giving it a read and not really seeing that clearly wasn't open. But again, simple elementary maths. If there's 2 on 1, you've got 1 unmarked somewhere.
So here we have that same formation, but the receiver from the right side has moved closer in to go on a quick little shallow route there. Gains about 5 yards, and it's going to bring that short situation that some teams like so much.
Yep, it's a good spot to be in.
There are 52 seconds remaining in the half. 52.
You're really going to have to compete with this ref. He is doing me a favor. I spoke to him before the game, and I do want to give him a shout-out. He asked how often I wanted him to say the time.
Oh.
And under 2 minutes, I said, go nuts. We'd love to have it so we know it's correct.
Every time, yeah.
So there you go.
4th down here, so you're more likely to see a short completion to get the first, but
that's a nice wiggle there by number 8, and he gets a completion there to number 83, Ryan McKeveny. That is some wiggle there. Goes from a sack to a 20-yard completion.
Yeah, nice completion there, but that's all on the blitzer. The blitzer can't go past.
There are 43 seconds remaining in the half.
Yeah, you're right. The blitzer there has to be a little bit more disciplined.
The blitzer just cannot go past there. It doesn't matter about getting the sack. You're really looking to force a bad throw than a sack. The sack's just a kind of an extra in flag. Intelligent defenses don't want the sack. They want a bad pass, and that's one where he gave him an open field to throw in. Looks
out to his right, looks back to the middle, and then gets a completion out to the right to about the 3-yard line. Now that's McKeveny yet again. That's a pump fake, middle, pump fake, or throw it out to the right. Clever play right there. Oh, I don't think he's going to say it for you this time. I think he is. He's pressing the button.
Was he out of bounds?
Timeout has been called by red number 8 with 35 remaining.
There we go, 35 seconds.
One timeout remaining. second down.
You know what? You can have 2 timeouts each half. They don't roll over to the second half. Why not use them?
Yeah, indeed. And I'll try and add the time back on.
Rolls out to his left, gets a completion over the middle, and he's reached out to the middle of the field. The back judge has signaled the touchdown, and now they have agreed it is indeed a touchdown there, and a little bit of a celebration from Isaac Harding.
Touchdown for Reading, puts them back a point ahead.
That's a great completion there. Again, throwing across his body a bit. And as you said, too aggressive from the defense. You can't be chasing sacks when all you need to do is get those hands up.
Yeah, and this is it. It's a misconception a lot of time in flag is that you're looking for sacks. Sometimes you might be in man coverage and you want the sack to reduce the amount of time you're having to cover. But in a nice zone scheme like they clearly had there, you just want a bad throw. And I'm surprised that they put Luke back into the blitz there after he'd made such a mistake the play before.
Scans over the middle of the field, rocks behind, goes around the blitzer, and gets another completion there. Yet another over-aggressive play by the defense, and a great little wiggle by the quarterback.
I wonder how many times the quarterback is going to do the same thing.
There are 29 seconds remaining in the half.
We're gonna have to see that. You'd think eventually they'd make an adjustment by the Sharks.
You would really hope they made an adjustment at some point. They did a notice for one play they put Neil Henderson into blitz, and Neil is a very capable blitzer, but obviously as quarterback he probably wants to be thinking about his next drive and structuring things. But it might be worth just a little change for a drive.
Now that is friend of the show, Neil Henderson. He helped me out as the color commentator for the first game of the finals yesterday.
Yeah.
So now he's starring on mic, and now he's starring on camera as a quarterback. Throws that deep, but cannot line up with his receiver. Threw it a bit too far ahead of him.
Yeah, that one came out. I think he was looking for more arc in that pass, and it came out just a bit flat. Didn't give his receiver any time to get
There are
underneath
24 seconds left in the half.
Yes,
24.
bingo. Yeah, you can't throw it that far ahead.
No.
You got to get a little closer. But they're going to probably take 2 or 3 more shots here before the half.
Yeah, it's one of those. They've got plenty of time and they've got 2 timeouts. So
I would go to the middle of the field here.
You would like to try. It just seems to be.
There's a fake handoff. The same route that we saw earlier just didn't work out well. That's that same play we saw. A fake handoff, and then you throw it to the wheel route. But I just couldn't get the timing down.
The timing didn't look as clear cut as the last time where it all worked perfectly.
There are 19 seconds.
You know what? I would
remaining.
also add that the
19.
rusher actually played a bit on the timing there. There was a defender right in the face of that play.
Yeah, nice work by the defence. They've covered it up a lot better than they did the last time. And actually, the throw was so bad it could have potentially been intercepted.
How many times can you really throw an accurate pass jumping off your back foot as well?
That's a fair point.
Pump fake there and then throws it the same way. Bit too deep. Now Neil is pointing. I don't know if he's pointing at his receiver. Maybe there's a miscommunication on the route
There
there.
are 13 seconds remaining.
So we're running out of time here in that first half, down to 13 seconds.
It's also now 4th down, so you're kind of in the space that you're going to give them back possession with not a lot of time in the clock, but it's still an extra possession you don't necessarily want your opposition to have.
I'd say you get 2 choices here. You either go for a first down or you just chuck it.
I would probably go for it all here, and I think Neil might try and do the same.
There you go. He did exactly what we said. Now you get it. Even if that's picked off, you don't gain too many yards. So
Yeah.
it's not really much of a risk.
It's just like a huge punt, really, in flag if that gets intercepted.
There are 7 seconds remaining in the half.
Turnover
7
on
seconds.
downs. The other team goes all the way back to their 5. Interception, you get it where you return it to.
Yeah.
So as long as the interception is near a receiver who can bring the player down, you're not going to lose much there.
Yeah, limited risk, especially with only 7 seconds left in the game. I would expect Reading to hit a short completion here, gain some yards, call a timeout, and then have a pop at the end zone.
And with that timeout, the middle of the field is going to be open. Let's see what the blitzer does here. It is a different blitzer now. Quick little shovel pass, gets completion, gets out of bounds. They're saying that the clock kept running, but then a timeout was immediately called. So I think there's at least enough time for one more play. I think they were ready with their hands making that T-pose there.
A timeout has been called by Red with 1 second remaining in the half. 1 second.
Now that is some exact time management. If this turns into a score,
Yeah.
that's quite special.
I don't feel like that play was 6 seconds long, but
Well, he ran a while.
6 seconds is a really long
That
time.
is a long time, especially in flag.
Yeah, it's a really long time.
Remember, we saw a drive yesterday. Had about 7 or 8 plays. It seemed like 3 seconds. Throws it back to the quarterback there. That's only one pass, about 10 yards. Now, I will tell you this, a little bit of insider info. I won't tell you which teams have been saying this, but there was quite a bit of discussion on the sideline about how many backward passes you could throw in one play. What if you fake it? What happens if you do a forward pass and then the player pitches it back to his teammate? So, and that wasn't just this game. That was actually both the result. It was the result of a previous game where there was a bit of disagreement on how many backward passes you could have in a single game. But both teams were there on the sideline discussing a little bit of what are the rules here, checking with the refs on what they can do.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see that in the second half.
You can throw the ball backwards as many times as you like until somebody tackles you. Just keep carrying on. As long as it's behind the line of scrimmage, you're absolutely fine.
In fact,
yeah. So there's no real issue there. The other thing that passing the ball backwards does, it eliminates that 7-second play clock that you have as a quarterback. You've got 7 seconds to release it from when the snap happens. So it just eliminates that. You can just keep throwing it back and forward. I've watched some plays for Mexico, particularly the last nearly 30 seconds, just passing it back between the two quarterbacks.
Now you have 7 seconds to throw it, but you have 7 seconds to throw it once. I mean, you could throw it 5 seconds, throw it again, 5 seconds. As long as you're throwing it backwards, or how does that work?
It's just the 7-second rule is just to the original quarterback. So the first person that takes the ball is classed as the quarterback in flag. They have 7 seconds to throw it forward. If they throw it backwards, that's it. That 7 seconds is gone.
And then you can just run around in circles for a half hour.
Can do what you like. GB versus Sweden out in the Euros, we had about 18 seconds to kill in fourth down. We didn't want to give them a possession. We just put the ball in the hands of a couple of our fastest guys, and they just kind of danced around for ages.
You know, if it's fourth down, you could also just run out of bounds, and then it's just going to go back to the 5-yard line of the other team.
Yeah.
So you could run around for 18 seconds. Now we see a quick shallow route there across the middle of the field to number 9. Gets a quick completion for Isaac Harding. Yeah, there's no reason you couldn't run around for 10 seconds and then just run out of bounds at your own 5.
Yeah.
It's still going to go all the way back to the other team's 5.
Well, that's it. We've seen teams do it. I've seen teams end up taking a safety when they were more than 2 points ahead just to kill out more clock. So there's no stopping you how many times you can throw it back. It's
Trips formation here with one running a post route, and he gets his feet inbounds and a quick completion. And that's a lot of contact. They're definitely going to call that there.
Yeah.
There is a flag. You can't do that.
No, you can't. You've got to be more controlled than that. And Corey asked for it immediately, but I don't think he needed to ask for it. I think the referee was always going to flag that.
We can see the replay here. It's not actually a bad form tackle. If you were going to thud in a contact game, this isn't bad. You can see him here. Got a hip on one side, hand on each side. Goes for the double uppercuts. Not a horrible if it was a tackle bag.
No, he could have wrapped him up and then threw him to the ground. No bother there. But
We have illegal contact. Red, number 1. It'll be half the distance to the goal from the end of the run and an automatic first down.
Now that's James Hegarty there. Way too much contact there. Not even close.
yeah, it was a little out of control. I don't think he can really complain much there. And the problem with having players like Corey who are so quick to stop, it can be hard to control yourself. But nice little corner route from Corey there. Bit shallower than normal corner route, but good catch, good yardage, and Chichester now in a very strong position just outside the no-run zone on first down. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of little run concept play here.
And number 26 is just to the side. No, instead they go for a quick pass. A little bit of a juke, but goes out of bounds.
At the 1.
At the 1, you almost wish you stayed at the 6 there.
Yeah, the 6, for some teams, depending on their play style, the 6 is better, but it's so hard to stop a team from 1 yard out without a bit of contact.
So here we have one receiver just set out to the right, goes for the shovel pass, but there's no one there, throws it underhanded, and gets a completion in the end zone.
Oh, I do love a shovel pass. It all works in flags. Nice touchdown there for Neil Henderson.
Well, it's like one of your favorite players, Brett Favre. Maybe he could play a little flag.
I'm pretty sure Brett could play some flag.
He's always itching to come out of retirement.
A lot of deep bombs, but yeah.
No, he throws it, underhand, sidearm. Him and Stafford, they'd be great in this.
I've watched Favre throw some lovely shovel passes as he's falling to the ground. He's a talented gent.
And certainly something that you can do a little bit more here in the flag game. You can get away with that.
Yeah, there's less risk involved with shovel pass and stuff.
Oh, now let's check out this formation here. We have 3 receivers stacked in a straight line like a choo-choo train.
Conga line.
Hey, it worked.
It's a very simple concept, and it's worked very effectively there. They've cleared out the first 2 have cleared out the coverage. Basically, Reading just didn't bother adjusting the formation, so the first 2 cleared it out, and Corey just hitched in behind it.
Now, if you haven't repped against that before in practice, you're probably not going to stop it the first time.
No.
You have to know your assignment there, and you have to call out your person.
You really need to recognise that it's went like an extreme trips formation, but they stayed in a fairly basic defence, and it meant that there was just two defenders not doing anything.
Free rusher there forces a quick pass, and it is passed over the middle for about 5 yards.
This does look like a... No, I'm now struggling to remember who the blitzer was in the first half for Chichester, but I don't believe it was number 31.
I don't, no, it's definitely different than the primary blitzer. They switched towards the end of the first half,
Yeah.
and this seems to be potentially even a third blitzer that they're trying out here. A little bit, Swift got the hand up there, 7 yards off, which allows you to be a free rusher to the quarterback. Straight down the field, force another quick throw, a deep pass, a little bit of room, gets that extension, but it was just a bit too far.
That was nice work by 85 there. That was a very subtle hand in the shoulder, just maybe causing a little bit of disruption with the time.
Maybe rotate the shoulders just a bit of the
Yeah.
receiver.
I mean, you're allowed to put your hand in the defender as long as you're not influencing the way they're moving. But
Which is, of course, what they would say was happening.
absolutely. He was just feeling to see where he was.
Exactly. Well, you know, how do you track the ball and a person at the same time?
Exactly.
I'm not a spider.
Spiders make good flag players.
They would, because they got eight arms and legs, and they can see with 8 eyes. Anyway, 2 receivers out to the quarterback's left, and a quick crossing route there, and a catch over the middle. Not getting a lot of yards here, but slowly moving the ball up the field.
Yep, nice grab by Vin Berry. Another good, solid completion. Again, Chichester haven't really had a great deal of success, apart from the pick 6, which was the reason they're in the lead at the moment.
So let's see what Reading can go ahead and do here. They again come out with 2 receivers set out to the quarterback's left, 1 receiver out to the right-hand side, about 7 yards back, scans the field to his left, looks over the middle, pumps again, evades the defender, doesn't get sacked, but throws it. What they can do here, the shorty's just outside the center. Neal is going to throw it his way.
Great route.
That is a great route there. A little bit of a delay, gets down to the 2.
Nice route, nice throw, nice read. The ball looked a little bit odd, spiraling almost vertically, but it got there. They all count.
You know, to me, it looked like a bad pass at first, but then that corner route really cleared up there, and it just lined up perfectly.
Yep, basically the defender was on the wrong side of him. He opened his hips late, so he had to decide what side of short he was going. Picked the wrong side.
So now they are down inside that no-run zone, 2 yards away from the end zone, trying to extend their lead in this plate final game. All 3 receivers set out to the left. That is clearly a false start. The widest receiver to left just started walking. I think there's a chance there that he probably fell a step and then just kind of kept going.
Full start, offence, number 16, 5 yards from the previous spot. It remains 3rd down.
There we go, 3rd and about 2 for these Chester Sharks.
It's going to be 3rd and about 7 after the
Oh yeah, sorry, I apologize. The ref hadn't moved.
But it's, you know what? It's now outside the no-run zone again, so playbook's open again.
Let's see if they do that. We haven't seen many runs today, as expected.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of runs in flag. I mean, you do see them. They tend to be very creative or forward handoffs where you're trying to make kind of run-pass option.
I've seen players or quarterbacks ride that option 10 yards to the side before they decide to keep it or not.
That's it. You're kind of just looking to see if you can get the defender to move. If the defenders stay disciplined, then usually you don't see the handoff.
And there is that option route here, and because it's a handoff, he can run it in, and he extends his arm, and they call it a touchdown there. That's a great play design.
Yeah, touchdown Bedford there. Nice job.
Did exactly what you did, because honestly, I believe that was a rollout by the second player to get the ball.
Yeah, no, it was nice. He came across, he handed it off. I think the first read is throw, but when the space was there, God, you're going to take it.
You have to. I mean, all the defenders vacated, didn't even respect the receiver there.
Yeah.
And you wonder if they were in a zone, they didn't shift enough.
No one shifted. I don't know if they were in zone or man. I think they were probably in their usual base formation defensively, but no one tracked with Corey.
Henderson looks to his right, looks back to his left, throws it in the corner to a crowd of players. It's picked off, but that doesn't really matter because it's a conversion, whether it's a drop or not.
Yeah, it's just an XP. That puts the Chichester Sharks 11 points ahead.
Now you're starting to see some of these conversions coming a little bit into effect. 11 points if a team or two had gone for a conversion or gotten it here or there.
Yep.
It either would have been, it's a 2-score for the win, or maybe you could have pushed it to maybe 3 scores to have to win.
Well, that's it. Now Reading don't really need to worry about their conversions. They just need to try and find a way to get touchdowns. 2 touchdowns will put them back ahead without their conversions now. But let's see. Chichester managed to get a stop in the last drive.
Quite a few defenders on the left side of the field here for the Sharks. That's an interesting formation, but they've popped into a zone here, and then they allow completion to the left side for about a 5-yard gain.
offense taking what the defense gives them there.
Yep, nice simple play. I think Chichester's starting positions there might have been a little bit off their norm, but they seem to be in a fairly standard 2-2. But Shorty, who appears to be playing the inside safety on this side, on the left-hand side, just a little bit further up the field than I'd expect the safety to be, but he seems to be just dropping straight back.
Maybe trusting his athleticism there to maybe be able to cover that ground, but also let them convince that he might be a rusher.
Then again, they might not be in a 2-2. They might actually be in a 3-1 because he popped straight into the middle of the field there.
And that is Shorty who makes the tackle there with the dive and grab, grabbing the flag of the offensive player. And it is now 3rd down and relatively short, 3rd and about 3 or 4.
Yep, you could definitely see a deep shot here because we will get the first down in the
2
next
receivers
play.
out to the quarterback's left, and instead they go for the conservative route. A little bit of a hitch. There we go again. Coming up a bit ginger is number 84, James Thurl.
Conservative throw, but good throw, good big gain in their half, about 10 yards almost. And little niggles are going to happen. This is the 3rd game of the day for these teams.
Well, yeah, you get cramps, you get tired, and then sometimes you get something else. So it looks like he has stepped out to allow someone else to try to take his spot. Linchpin of the offense in the first half, but they've managed to get around with other players as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Vin Berry's been making some nice plays. There's definitely other players, Isaac as well. But yeah, everything seemed to run through James in the first half.
A couple of pump fakes and then a completion to the left side of the field. A missed tackle there. That receiver just went straight around the defender.
Missed tackle or a flag guard? That's interesting.
Well, let's see on the replay if we can see that. I will say the defender had his hands on his hips in disappointment and did not show a lot of anger.
True.
That is a lot of movement by the right arm there, but the defender didn't seem to be asking for a flag, so
no, he didn't.
If he's not asking for it, I don't know why anyone else reasonably
and it might
could.
not, just because his arms moved down that way, it might not have had any impact on the tackling attempt.
2 receivers out to the left, 1 just to the right of the center of play, rolling out to his left, gets a completion there on a quick little route. That's 83, Ryan McKevney.
Yep, nice play concept, little slant there, cleared out some space, hit him in the front pylon. Good work, that makes it a 4-point game.
Very close, and now we're starting to see all these conversions really come into play.
Yeah, Reading have had much more success in the conversions than Chichester. They've converted 4 of 5, whereas Chichester have only converted 2 of 6.
When you start getting into the high 30s and the 40s, the conversions actually get to the point where enough missed conversions can make you need 1 less touchdown to win a game.
Absolutely.
So as you get high enough on that scoreboard, 1 receiver just to the left of the center, Henderson rolling out to his right, throws it deep on a fade route there, and a strike down the field to the middle, and some spin routes to get 5 more yards after the catch. That's a great play.
That's a nice, it looks like a back shoulder throw in the fade there. He's adjusted to it, unorthodoxly kind of spinning to catch it, then spinning to try and get some extra yards. Good play. Nice job by Luke Nash.
That's actually, it's trending a bit more in the contact game. I hear in the flag tournament that we've seen this weekend, a lot of people still keep going for that over-the-shoulder bucket. I've seen quite a few fade routes recently where people actually turn around to grab the ball.
Yeah.
A little bit more in the contact game, I think, try to secure the catch with the tackle, but it's effective there.
I think it just gives the quarterback kind of more of a window, safer to put it in where the defender's less likely to make a play. Higher percentage, but obviously less yards often.
3 receivers out to the right. Henderson rolls out to his right, looking to throw it to one of these crossing receivers, and it is a bit batted down, but also just dropped by the receiver there.
To be honest there, Neil needs to get that ball out a little earlier. That receiver was more open earlier in the play. He just held on to it a little too long, or possibly lost grip before he managed to throw it out there, because normally that ball would be out there a lot sharper.
And the receivers had started running out of room, so they're starting to either slow down or run out of bounds.
Yeah, and the defenders aren't bothered with the sideline. They're coming to make a play in the ball.
So now we have this spread out wide, 2 receivers out wide, 1 to the left of the center. And that's a drop, just a straight down drop. It's a touchdown out the hands of number 9, Isaac Harding.
There's no colour commentary required. He's dropped it. That's a bad one. That might hurt his team.
Yeah, you can really extend the lead there. So if they score here, makes up for his mistake. If not, that's going to start coming back to bite him and give Reading a chance to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that he's had a lot of great plays in this game.
Here we go. Here's that trips formation. Stacked 3 receivers to the left. Let's see if they've managed. And there is someone in the corner.
Oh.
No one there.
It was better covered that time, but he completely mistimed his jump and probably overestimated his athleticism. Corey just stood in the back corner waiting for the ball to get to him.
I thought for sure that he was going to look for that little whip route over the middle of the field.
Yep.
But because it looked like, oh, we stacked so far to the left, you get the center, goes out, runs a whip to the right. Center was open. Instead, corner of the end zone, perfect play.
Yep, he trusted his arm. Just a nice floated ball into the back corner.
Now this conversion, I guess a 1-point conversion doesn't get you too much here, but
I don't know why they're going for one.
you go for 2, it forces it to a 2-touchdown game, but they're just going for the 1.
This is a bad coaching decision. Going for just 1 here. There's no real benefit.
I mean, they get the point. I'm not sure where to get you. At that point, if you get 2 points, it's up by 12 or no, so you'd be up by 14.
Yeah.
Right. No,
they would have been up by 14 now. Sorry, they've been up by 12. They've been up by... Bad maths here.
Bad maths here. I'm tired. It's been a long weekend. I apologize. The point is they would have been up by 2 scores.
Yeah, two full scores.
However this many is.
Yeah, they were up by 2 full scores. Now they're up by 11. So again, Reading don't need their conversions because they've not had any pressure applied to them by Chichester.
A quick completion and some spins over there to James Thorall.
Now our clock's not precise, but we should be heading towards a 2-minute warning at some point, and I think that's just maybe what they're signalling.
This is the 2-minute warning with 2 minutes exactly, and both teams have 2 timeouts remaining.
There's the signal from the ref. If you are Reading here, you need to get a quick strike and get down the field.
Yeah, and you need to do it without using your timeouts because you're going to have to need to use them to get the ball back.
So spread out defense here, 4 men across the line, 1 rushing over the middle, a little bit of a hitch route and a first down potentially depending on the spot. It is a first down which stops the clock here under 2 minutes.
Yep, first down, stops the clock, smart play. Now
There is 1:55 remaining in the game.
And the referees are going to give us the courtesy, which we appreciate, to make sure that we know the exact timings here. For anyone that might be a bit confused why we have to adjust it so much, BAFA rules make it so we're not allowed to have immediate communication with the refs, so we don't have like a Bluetooth clock or anything like that. So we're using a stopwatch, and so are they. Here's a quick completion outside. No, he's ruled him out of bounds. I'm not sure on that call. I'm further away than the ref is. The ref was right by his feet, but I thought 83 got 1 foot in bounds. We'll see if we could potentially get the replay here. Let's take a look.
Oh, they've called it incomplete. That's...
No, he did.
Well.
That's why you say the ref's closer than you, because now I can say he was right the whole time. As I said, he could have been.
Yeah.
Because he clearly landed with his left foot on the line. Got to do a better job tapping your toes there.
Kudos to that ref. Bad foot and body awareness from the player.
There's a little out route, bobbles it, but gets out of bounds. Gets about, I'd say about 10 yards there on the completion. That's Vin Berry, who we haven't heard from in a bit.
No, that's kind of one of the first catches Vin's had in a while, but he's a good player.
There's 1:39
With only 1:39 in this game, they got to score faster because you only have 2 timeouts.
Yep.
The other team can run 25 seconds between plays. You are not going to have much time left unless you score right here.
No, they're not. And they've been very good, though. They've been out of bounds. They got the first down. They've been out of bounds. They've not wasted a lot of time, but they do need to score quickly.
Scans the field to his left on that little shallow route. Gets an extension, but down at the 1 yard line, maybe the 3 yard line, and they are going to use one of those timeouts, which, as you've said, that's a sin almost in this game.
Oh, you can. You just, I mean, they might get away with it because there's a lot of time in the clock, but...
That's a timeout called by Red with 1:29 remaining in the game. This is their first of the half.
You need those on defense.
You really do. Like, I would much rather see them just go up and run a no-huddle quick play. Yes, it'll cost them 10, 15 seconds, but not having the timeout is going to cost them 25.
Yeah, I got to do some math there. Some quick maths.
Yeah, some quick math, but it's... Yeah, it might be okay for them, but they've definitely made their life infinitely more difficult. But then again, you have to score now, so maybe it is worth the time.
Single coverage across the board, looking for the receiver. Little whip route there, and one in the end zone. Gets it on the crossing route there to number 9. What a catch by Isaac Harding.
Really nice catch by Isaac. He had a defender draped over the back of him. Yes, Isaac, we see you. We've just seen the touchdown.
So Isaac's going to come in your screen from the right. Yep. Good clear out there. Almost his shoulders beyond his feet because where that ball was.
Yeah, nice play. Luke did try to do his best to disrupt him, but beaten by a better play.
Reading's going for 2 here, trying to bring this into a closer matchup.
Well, I think Reading have clocked possibly that Chichester aren't doing particularly well with their XPs, but I don't see, this doesn't really gain them much actually.
But it sure does look good. What a catch.
Yeah, nice job.
That's just a perfect little route. As we've said, we've seen many a player work around that pylon, scoring it just in the top corner of the end zone.
And if this was contact football, you'd be in a great spot for a field goal now. But a 3-point game.
Doesn't get you anything here, but man, does this catch look good. That can go on your highlight reel. Put that on Huddle.
Yeah, another nice catch by Isaac. Corey, you can point at the sideline, Phil, all you like. That's still a catch.
That's a great play there.
There is 22 remaining in the game. 1, 2, 2.
And with only 1 timeout remaining in 1:22, you can almost run out the clock entirely here. And if you manage to throw a few plays that take a little bit longer, you throw a little lateral here, a couple sideways passes there,
Yep.
you might be able to run out the clock entirely.
Well, there's only 1 timeout,
So here is one of those laterals. Going to run around a bit, try to make a defender miss. We'll see when they choose to call this timeout. They haven't signaled it yet, so it looks like they're going to let this play go.
Oh, interesting.
I guess they're going to. They only get 1, so you can only stop it once. You might as well.
Yeah, but you know that they've got the clock running here.
Yeah, there's a chance they could throw an incompletion or something, though.
Yeah. But then again, I suppose
I'm not sure Henderson's going to throw the ball here. I
No.
think they're going to do a few.
he's got
Few safer plays.
2 of the most elusive players in football on his team, Corey Bedford and Alex Brown.
He's going to roll out a bit. Just throw it underhand for a quick completion on a crossing route. Make sure to stay in bounds. That's number 16 there for the Sharks, Corey Bedford, one of those elusive players that you mentioned.
I think he's called the timeout now.
Well, there's 1 timeout, and it is going into 3rd down. I would point out that unless
Timeout Red with 44 seconds remaining. That is their 2nd and final timeout.
barring a blatant mistake here by the Sharks, this is a win. You can kneel it if you want to. You can run the ball out. There's 2 25-second play clocks between them each play. Well, I guess it's 3rd down.
Yeah,
no, it's 3rd down. I apologize.
No, but if the play will take about 5 to 7 seconds, say it takes the full 7, it's down to 37. 25-second play clock takes you to about 12 seconds. That's still quite a long play. You might have a Hail Mary attempt at the end here for Reading.
I'd run around a bit here in a circle.
Don't go out of bounds, Corey.
And he chooses to stay in bounds there, which is the right call.
Yep.
That's a great conservative play. You get 5 or 10 yards, so you might get a 1st down on the next play, take some time off, and keep that clock running.
I think there's going to be about 8 seconds left here. I wouldn't be shocked if they just took the delay game.
We were talking earlier today, in fact, I don't even know, it might have been on the air, about you could throw as many backward passes as you want.
Yeah, you can. You can throw them back as many times as you want. We've done it. We did it at GB to secure a win against Sweden a while ago.
Well, let's see if they do that here, or they choose to be a little bit more aggressive, and they are aggressive, and they get that 1st down. That'll ice the game there. What a win.
Yeah, that's a nice. You know what? I quite like that call. As much as there's a risk, it's aggressive and it guarantees you victory. You go and take control yourself rather than relying and run the clock out.
Well, what a plate final victory for these Chichester Sharks. I still can't pronounce the name of that city.
Yeah,
There are 4 seconds
Sounds like-
remaining. 4 seconds.
unless Corey does something incredibly stupid.
He's just
here.
going to kneel it here, I assume.
I hope so.
And he does. There you go, a nice win for the Sharks. Great pass to end the game, and then a kneel down.
Yep. Plate champions for League One. A nice job by Chichester. They got relegated last season into League One, which was obviously a big impact to them, but they've had a decent season, and this will be a nice way to wind it up.
And when you get there in that third, the plate final here, because you have so many of these different relegation promotion games, in the Division 1 final, both teams that were above the Sharks are getting promoted, right?
Yeah, basically. So the team from each division, there's one team promoted essentially this season. So they were in 2nd place in their division, I believe. So they're not far away.
So that is going to be a little bit of momentum going into the next season. A little bit of a disappointment here from Reading.
Yeah, Reading will feel that's tough because last season they were in this spot and they won the plate final. This year they've came to the plate final again, which means one, they've not progressed as a team. They've kind of stayed stagnant, and actually they've taken a step back because they've just lost to Chichester. So I don't know if that's that Reading's taking a step back or possibly the quality of League One's getting better around them. Who knows? But Reading, that will be a tough loss for them.
Now we have another game going on pretty much immediately after this one. We'll bounce around a bit and then switch to the next game here. For those of you for Onside Productions, we also had today the London Blitz versus the Tamworth Phoenix, and that is in the semifinal for the Premiership Contact game, 11-on-11s over there in Leeds, from our other team of broadcasters and that lovely team over there. I think we're going to wind down here pretty quickly and get a little bit of a break, I believe, towards my producer. Yeah, we're going to wind down here, take a bit of a break, and then we're going to have the Premier final, plate final coming up after that. So thank you again for everyone tuning in, and we'll see you in a few.